You're about to be on the receiving end of a wild, wild secret, and that's because not a lot of people are going to see this video. I'm not tagging it with how to Rajon Rondo fake, or, I'm calling it what it is. It's cuff mastery behind the back fakes and protecting the ball. Now, this will get you ahead of NBA players, or if you're in the NBA, it'll get you ahead in the NBA. How many people have you seen do this? As far as I can tell, people don't do this. I'm going to explain why, but as far as I can tell, I have a skill that no one in the NBA does, and anyone can learn it. The reason I don't think anyone in the NBA has it, and the reason I think it's so useful, is I have very small hands for the NBA. I'm 6 foot, I have 7-inch hands, which are average hands for my size, which would put me in probably around the bottom 10 hands in the NBA, which means my ability to palm the ball is just worse than everyone in the NBA for the most part. But that's fine because it led me down the path of understanding and learning how to cuff the basketball. Now, I think cuffing the basketball is tremendously useful, and also anyone can learn it. You don't have to have big hands. There's lots of times to use it. The most obvious you can see here is a behind the back pass fake, and you've got to have a counter to that, which is a behind the back pass. But what that does is if you show a lot of the ball, they usually bite on it, which results in a wide open layup at the rim. This is really useful. It just leads to the easiest layups of all time, and if they don't bite on it and they stick with you, you can just wrap the ball around them. One of my most memorable in-game plays ever was I did this behind-the-back fake. They stuck with me, but I threw a wraparound pass to the other guy for a dunk. He came flying in for a dunk off of my fake behind-the-back into a wraparound pass. But it's not just useful for that. It's also really useful for protecting the ball. Either so you can use your off arm, or if when you're getting egregiously fouled, you can get nice and ones. As you can see here, this isn't so much a fake, so much as it is protecting the ball. Like when you're driving and you're holding the ball way out in a cuff, it's just very hard to stop. You can't strip the ball. There's just nothing they can do. And the cuff is very, very powerful. It's like the ball can get very, very tight in there, and as a result, it's just like pretty hard. Yeah, it doesn't result in many turnovers, or barely any once you learn it, and you just become really hard to strip on drives. You get awesome pass fakes. And this isn't something people in the NBA are doing because they have these big hands and they think, oh, I can palm the ball, I'm going to do it like Rondo, who has an 11-inch hand. So this is what it looks like. I throw this move a lot myself, and I encourage you to learn how to do it. It's really useful, really easy, it's just so potent. Yeah, here's kind of what it might look like in a game. Losing it. I mean, a lot of the times in game I'll load it with a second hand, but you're seeing me practice something pretty hard, which is not loading it, just going one hand, right? Obviously, which is pretty tough. As far as footwork goes, it's kind of like a Euro step, where you're taking these two big steps, and the first of the two steps you really go sideways so that you can show as much of the ball as possible, and you make it really slow so you can show as much of the ball as possible. It's not really a quick move, it's just something, they might fall for, basically. So now I'm trying out a different timing which ends with the other foot, which is much harder. A lefty dribble into a lefty reverse on the right side, but it's something worth practicing because I'm missing it. And at this point I'm like, alright, I need to end on a make, so I need to get this. There it is. Yeah, really, really, really useful move. Obviously, the counter to this is just throwing a behind the back pass. Yeah, there's the lefty end. I like to have both. Throwing a behind the back pass. I'm gonna have a video series on cuff passes, because there's lots of reasons to pass with a cuff as well. And also my camera died immediately after filming this, so I wasn't able to show it off. But check that out. That's just a really fun move. I know it's really fancy and it looks overly fancy, but it's pretty relevant. I usually don't throw it with this behind the back fake dribble, but I figured I would kill two birds with one stone and practice both of these right now, which is very hard on the left side. In game, I've only thrown this with the left once, I think, and I've thrown this on the right so many times. And my favorite is picking it up just straight off the dribble. It really boggles players' minds when I'm not using a second hand to load it. Like, I'll fake out my own players, I'll fake out their players, and it usually results in a wide open layup. And usually the cost is small because if they bite on it, then you still have perfect control of the ball and you have great position for a wraparound pass. Main times I use this are 2-on-1 breaks or 3-on-2 breaks. I'll look to use this. Generally 2-on-1 going down the right side is when I prefer to use it. But I'll also use it when I'm driving middle and someone cuts behind me. I'll throw a fake cut and it usually results in a wide open layup at the rim. So super, super useful. Now I'm showing off the other use for it, which is just to protect the ball. This is more fundamental and very useful. It allows you to get nice and ones and be very strong with your off arm. So like if you're driving through someone, if you can get the ball and your cuff out behind you, you have ultimate freedom with your off arm to either be aggressive or just hold them off if they're fouling you. So this move, the idea kind of behind it is to, if the guy's running with you, you can lower your shoulder because they're initiating the contact and take your 2 steps with the ball cuffed way out behind you. They're not going to get it, and you can just lay the ball up over them. So it's harder with the lefty for sure. I'm, a right-handed jump shooters, but I figure I'm going to be symmetrical in everything I do. I'm going to try it out. So, I mean, can you see how wildly useful this is and how no one is doing this? If you're one of the 100 or so people who are watching this, this is a huge gift, I think, because it can propel you ahead of lots of people, because I'm telling you and you're seeing how useful this is, and no one knows about it, even in the NBA, and that's just because everyone in the NBA, for the most part, has huge hands, and they don't necessarily have a reason to cuff. Now, I still see cuffs in the NBA, but I don't see cuffs like I'm doing, where I pick up the ball in the cuff in one move. So, I mean, that's basically it. I'm going to show off a video of the field now where I kind of show you how you do it and how you can practice doing it. But that's it. Much love. I hope you understand the move and follow it, because it's just so strong in that cuff. You have so much power. It's hard to strip. So that's the cuff. That's all I wanted to show.
Incredibly great.
Yeah, you don't need huge hands to have wild ball fakes and wild ball control. One of the ways that I really like the cuff. It's really powerful, and the ball is not going to come out. It's just really powerful, and there's a lot of times to do it. Whether I'm going to the basket and want to tuck it in and then come off in one hand and lay it up.
Yeah.
Or if I want to do a behind the back pass, I kind of like to do it. I might throw baseballs like this so I can pull out of it sometimes. Or the Rondo fake, obviously.
Yeah.
So I feel
Is that how he's doing it, by cupping?
No, Rondo has enormous hands.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I have 7-inch hands, which are pretty average. His hands are 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, for those of us with human hands, we can always do the cuff, which is really effective. And the way it kind of works is
Oh yeah, because I used to do that with.
You kind of just jam it in there. It's a lot of strength, so you're not necessarily that. Hang on, I'm doing it for this. Yeah, I'm doing it for this. No, it's all good, dude. Yeah, but I'll toss it to you in a sec because I want to see what you had the way you did it.
Right.
But I'll just jam it in there, just real squeeze it in there, and sometimes I'll load it if I ever can with another hand like this, you're loading a fucking cannon, and that's when it's in the tightest. Right, but I mean, I also practice catching it out of the cuff, which is hard, but there are times, see this thing? This is with the left hand too. So sometimes I'll come around to dribble, and I'll just catch it in the cuff, I need a real nice dribble to do it. Catch it in the cuff. I can do it easier up here. Catch it and then throw it behind the back, just out of nowhere.
Damn.
So like anyone can learn that. You just have to like practice, get strong at it. It'll like make your forearms hurt like hell and you need to massage them. But just kind of jam it in and super useful, I feel like. Hey, Rudy, you're gonna say something.
Or I used to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's just way more powerful than a palm could ever be.
Yeah.
Like, here, can you hold it for just for a sec? It just, yeah, I mean, the main time I'll do it is like through like one of these, which anyone can learn. I have average size hands. Or like, so a lot of times I'll drive like this and finish up like that. But I mean, there's a million times where it's useful. It's not necessary, but I feel like if you don't have Michael Jordan hands, it's just the way to go.
Right.